Okay, we are talking with Kyle Zorn, head of content at TickPick. Kyle, thank you so much for being with us. Let's start out first with talking about exactly what is TickPick.
So TickPick is a ticket marketplace. We sell tickets to every live event, sports, concerts, theater, etc. And yeah.
Okay, let's get down to business. What is the average purchase price for the Bears home opener?
So the Bears are in the top 5 as far as fan bases go for fans looking to attend NFL games this season. It is a average purchase price of $429, which is a very steep amount. The optimism in Chicago is high, but it's a very expensive ticket this year.
What?
Wow, that's a lot. And you're talking one solo ticket.
So that's the average purchase price. That's not the get-in price to attend a game. It's the average purchase price for all tickets sold this regular season. So that isn't the expected price if you wanted to go to a game this season. It's really just the average purchase price of all tickets sold on our site. But tickets range from $100 all the way up to $300 for tickets this season.
Got it. Okay, so Kyle, we're all expecting to have an amazing season here in Chicago. When it goes well, what happens with those ticket prices?
Yeah, so it's a little bit like the stock market in the sense that the early games, they're going to be a little less volatile in that everyone's kind of seeing how their teams play out. If they start out hot, go 4-0, all the ticket prices for the remaining games that season, they are going to pop up. Winning and weather are going to be the 2 biggest factors that impact pricing.
I think we need some tips and tricks. When you do get really into the season and maybe a team you like is doing really well, you want to get tickets there. What are some things that you should look out for? How do you save a couple coins?
For sure. So I always encourage everyone to track an event in our app. We have it's a price tracker, so you can see how many tickets are available and how prices are moving leading up to that event. I always say the sweet spot is around 72 hours before the event. There's going to be a little less purchase activity then. So you know that when you see a ticket listing, you can go ahead and check out. It's really that day of event purchase that can be a little bit riskier in the sense that you've got so many people all eyeing the same exact tickets trying to check out. But 72 hours is really when prices hit the floor. So even if you see a price that's right now, say it's like $200, 72 hours before that game, it might be $125. So you can really save a lot of money by waiting last minute, but generally try to give it a few days before so you're not stressed out. Sometimes the Wi-Fi outside a lot of these stadiums is a little bit dicey. So I always say 48 to 72 hours is the best time to buy. Be cautious of social media. A lot of times, if you post there, you'll see a lot of posts on X or Facebook where someone says, "Oh, I have tickets," and you just really want to be, especially if you're going to spend this much amount of money, want to go with a website that has a guarantee so that you're protected. A lot of times, pricing on these social media sites, it sounds too good to be true, and it generally is. So always go somewhere that has a guarantee. And if you're looking for the best deal, I always encourage people to look 72 hours before, even if it's for a game that you might be priced out of right now.
I think that's a good piece of advice is making sure you think about the Wi-Fi and if your phone is charged. I have been in situations, actually like a year ago or 2 years ago, the Bears-Packer game, I was sweating trying to get things going on my phone. But yeah, that's a good piece of advice to do it 72 hours before. This might be a little bit of a tricky question for you, Kyle, but why do you think people enjoy going to the games and spending this amount of money for just a couple hour event?
Yeah, the NFL is kind of in a league in its own. If you're looking at any other professional sporting league, NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever other league, it's the pricing for games is a lot more affordable. Where at the NFL, it's every single year pricing just continues to increase year over year. Fans they love it, and right now I always say the best marketing before the NFL season is kind of like that summer. There's a little less sports on in that 2-month period, and people are just anxious, ready to get out to games. The weather is getting a little bit cooler, so it's not sure what it is about the NFL, but everyone they're antsy and they love it, and the demand reflects it.
So you talked about the home opener for the Chicago Bears and the ticket price. What is the average ticket price for some of these other teams that are considered to be highly coveted?
Yeah, so the average purchase price across the board is around $200 for the entire NFL. So the Bears are twice as expensive as the overall average, which I'm sure fans don't want to hear that, but it's just the overall for leagues across the point I think I wanted to make is that if you're looking to get maybe a better deal, the Bears travel to a lot of different away games to DC and Baltimore, and the pricing for those games are a lot more affordable than some of these Bears home games. So if you wanted to travel and make a trip out of it and go see a really great matchup, you can get tickets probably a third of the price than for a lot of the home games in Chicago. But yeah, Bears tickets right now are about twice the average.
And why do you think that is? Because, a lot of Bears fans, unfortunately, over the years, we feel let down as that season progresses. But it seems like the ticket prices, no matter what, they seem to always hold.
Yeah, so last year the Bears were fourth in terms of the overall average purchase price, and it doesn't really. So there's certain cities across the U.S. that they're sports cities that their fan bases, no matter what, if the outlook is optimistic, pessimistic, the demand is always going to be there. So it's year by year. The demand is always going to be there. There's certain cities, maybe the demand's not as high. They're just not as passionate a fan base. But when you look at fans that travel, the Bears, the Eagles, the 49ers, Cowboys, Packers, the demand is always going to be there for those teams. And it's just year by year, we see that consistency.
So are those teams you just mentioned, are those probably the other top football cities where ticket prices are really high?
Yeah, so Green Bay, Detroit is another one I forgot to mention. Green Bay, Detroit, Dallas, Las Vegas is up there, but that's mostly a lot of fans looking to travel and make a trip out of that. But 49ers are also a very hot ticket year over year. It's really the same cities that are really investing in their sports tend to be the top teams that we see as far as pricing.
Kyle, I was looking and your title is head of content. Let me ask you this. How do you think social media, because it seems as though a lot of these teams, not just the NFL, but when you look at the WNBA, the NBA,
Yep.
There's a huge social media presence now, I think more than ever, and really more focused on the personality of the individual players, not just a play on the field. How do you think that plays into all of this and the ticket prices as well?
Absolutely. So especially platforms like TikTok, Instagram, any of these short form platforms, the FOMO is what drives people to events. And so they see the crowd, they see the energy. That's why with football, even like the tailgate scene, that gets posted on Instagram stories or TikTok. And anyone who may not be at that event, they're going to get that FOMO and they're going to be looking at maybe the next one. In sports, even just concerts, there's certain stars that move the needle. And so anytime like you have a star that maybe they're traded or they get drafted to a team, stars lead demand. Where the NBA is the most star-driven league, where there's certain players like LeBron James, wherever he goes, Cleveland, LA, he moves the needle no matter where he is. And social media plays a huge role in that people are posting, and it really drives that FOMO when people maybe 15, 20 years ago, they're not really seeing that, they're really not getting that, I guess, that point of view. But social media certainly plays a role in getting people to get out to events.
Yeah, because you're seeing them in a different light, out of the uniform, with family, with friends. You're seeing, I think I saw something with LeBron James in a story yesterday. It was his son. And I'm like, wait a minute, are they is someone getting a haircut in the garage? It was like a line of like luxury cars. And so I found myself going back to it. And so I think, you're right. When it comes to social media, we're getting basically that veil, that curtain is finally lifted up.
You could be a true fan then.
Yeah.
This might be maybe an obvious question, but what are some of the teams that you anticipate, obviously not knowing how the season's going to go, that are definitely a shoo-in for raising prices here in Chicago, or just that are going to have high ticket prices at their own home games too?
Yeah, so there's certain fan bases that they travel really well. And so one of the reasons why Chicago has such a high average purchase price this year is they're playing the Cowboys and the Steelers at home, and both of those franchises travel extremely well. So a lot of cases for home games, you'll have the home team that is, a lot of those fans are buying up those tickets. But now for those games, you have two fan bases all eyeing the same limited supply, and that increase in demand makes those tickets pop up. But yeah, there's certain teams that we see always drive demand, and Chicago this year has a stacked schedule as far as they play the Steelers, Packers, Lions, Cowboys, all just all those games are going to be very high demand. The later games might be, depending on weather, the pricing might be a little bit more volatile if there's like a storm coming through, and fans may not be as itching to get out to those as maybe the other ones that are, the weather might be a little bit better.
Quick question for you before we let you go. You mentioned to check those ticket prices 72 hours before. And is that because maybe, for example, someone's a season ticket holder, they find out last minute they can't make it to the game, and then you see that ticket price drop?
Yeah, so with that price tracker, we'll actually alert you if pricing goes down 10% or more. So you'll get notified. But yeah, a lot of times if something comes up, if there is like a storm comes through, and maybe that season ticket holder, it's like, you know what, I don't want to go, I have plans. They'll put that inventory onto the site, and we'll notify you as well if more supply comes on, which is the more supply will lead to pricing to decrease. But yeah, a lot of times different variables will result in either more or less inventory on the site. Weather is going to play a huge role in that, as just if it's cold, if it's snowing, there's just going to be a lot less demand for that.
You know your stuff, Kyle Zorn, that is for sure.
Kyle, who's your team?
So I'm from Baltimore, so I'm a Ravens fan, but yeah, so we
you know what? I know a couple Ravens fans. I'm going to tell you, I'm not really big fans of them.
I mean, we'll see early because we play each other. So
I know.
But yeah, I'm a big Ravens fan.
Okay, then we'll see you here in Chicago. We'll save you a seat.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'll be there.
All right, Kyle. Thank
you
so
Bears.
much.
My last and final words. Go Bears.
Boo
Don't
Ravens.
you say go Ravens.
Boo.
Cut them off, you guys.
That was a fun conversation.
That was
you know
fun.
what? I think that's very timely because we are getting excited for football season. Orange Friday is going to come up on Good Day Chicago. We're getting ready for that. I'm ready.
Yeah,
it's starting to feel that way, especially with the weather cooling down a bit. I love football season.
Yeah, all you need is a pumpkin spice latte.